Yo, 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 what's up, all you Burnstones and Potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Ready to get normal?
Hey, all you vipers out there. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with our 420 episode. It's 420, everybody. Woo! Happy 420. Before we get started, we are going to smoke. We got lots of weeds got thrown to us for our 420 episode, and we are going to smoke right now. Something new, something fun, but we are smoking some Apricot Chem given to us by Galaxy Labs, a local craft grower here in Illinois. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them before we even light up, because we have a new toy too we're going to talk about. So before we light up, let's talk a little bit about Galaxy Labs, and before I talk about Apricot Chem. So Galaxy Labs is about them. They are committed to redefining high-quality craft cannabis products throughout strategic small batch harvests of the finest cultivars paired with the proven industry-leading best practices, expertise to enhance the consumer appreciation and experience of our distinctive and desired products that all can enjoy. Driven by passion and shared values, Galaxy Labs will promote economic empowerment in disproportionately impacted area through training, development, job creation, and serve as a partner to local community through service, philanthropy, educational initiatives, while maintaining transparency and profitability for the benefit of all stakeholders. Their story: Galaxy Lab was founded in 2020 by a husband and wife team. I've met Michelle, one of the owners. She's fantastic. Galaxy Labs is the first independent social equity craft grower to go live in Illinois. The owners are from Illinois, grew up in impacted areas, and have overcome many challenges. Over 96% of Galaxy is owned by minorities and women, 82.5% Black, 51% veteran-owned, and 33% women, and 11% Hispanic.
Awesome.
The Galaxy team is committed to community, economic development, as well as being examples of how social equity inclusion can be a win for everyone. Galaxy Labs is committed to positively engaging with the community, including specifically the undeserved and disproportionately impacted areas most affected by the war on drugs. This includes targeted hiring events, job trainings, educational seminars, charitable donations, and philanthropy. Galaxy is activated and engaged with several local community colleges within the area, including Olive Harvey College Cannabis Studies program. As part of these engagements, Galaxy offers programs and curriculum advisory support, donations of various supplies and equipment, offering presentations on industry topics, and direct engagement through hands-on learning sessions with the students. A part of the greater effort of community involvement, Galaxy Labs is also assisting in development of the community, including the formation and continued support of community-sponsored agricultural programs. Galaxy staff will also participate in community service events where time and resources can give to help assist in bettering the community.
That's awesome.
And I stopped by the dispensary yesterday, because they also own a dispensary, Galaxy Dispensary. It's and it's in Richmond Park, and it's right next to one another. They took over an all old Walgreens for their grow, and then they have a beautiful dispensary, all looking like space and galaxy and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And I'd like to thank Jarrett, the buyer for Galaxy Dispensary, for throwing us a bunch of weeds. Everybody, we got lots of weeds from them, and they gave us some great new strains they just launched. Fruit Stripes, Citron, Scotch and Soda, Blueberry Diesel, and then the one we're going to smoke is called Apricot Chem. So I'd like to thank Galaxy Dispensary and Galaxy Labs for throwing to the cause. And then we met a new friend. His name is Jameson, and he owns a company called Little Skunky. and Little Skunky is on our display here. They're bangers. Beautiful bangers, all different types of bangers, but it's a different type of banger. Mrs. Weedman, show them what we're going to be smoking out of today. We're going to be smoking out of one of our favorites, a percolator. But this banger here holds either a blunt or a joint, and you light the joint up first, and you put the joint, once you get the cherry nice and hot, you put the joint back into the banger, and you smoke through your bong or your bubbler or your percolator through there, and you light it up and you smoke it. And it's supposed to give a wonderful hit, and it's supposed to get you a little bit more high, but But let's talk a little bit them a little bit. Their values at Little Skunkies. Their purpose is to enhance experience through innovation while building an inclusive community. By embracing collaboration across the industry, they believe when will unite and will thrive. Their mission, though, is to get people lit as fast as shit while bringing the community together in a stigma-free environment. So come hang out with Little Skunky at some of their events. Go on littleskunky.com and check out their products. Great product lines. They have a vision too, providing a safe space where we can all come together as a community, get lit, have fun, and be ourselves, judgment-free. We invite you to be a part of the Skunky family where you're always welcome as you are. Be yourself and just be skunky. So I'd like to thank Jameson for sending these new toys. So we're going to try this out. We've never used this before. Never. This is the first time I got them today.
And I'm initiating this here. We'll see.
Yes,
how
so
this
we're going to try
goes.
this. So while Mrs. Weedman is lining this up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Apricot Chem. Okay, so dense buds packed with flavor with citrusy notes that are reminiscent of forbidden fruit, but a sweeter profile. The unexpected flavor combination creates a truly unforgettable taste experience that will tantalize your taste buds due to its incredible uniformity. Apricot Chem is a relatively low-maintenance strain, making it a great choice for all growers, and also with the flavor and the cannabinoids and the terpenes, great for smoking. So the cannabinoids and terpenes, this is 21%, I believe. Yep, 21.05%. Terpenes are 1.29%, which is pretty nice. And the experience you'll get from this is calm and euphoric. And the aromas are fruit, chem, and pine. So, Mrs. Weedman, show us how this is done. Oh, look how nice that is. Wow. Had the hit nice?
That's cool.
Yeah? Let me try. I'm so excited. New toy. I love new toys.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. It's different.
Oh, wow. That's really different.
Yeah.
That's fun. Thank you, Jameson. And thank you, Jarrett, for the fine tasting weed. Wow, that was very nice. Really well done, Galaxy Labs. Really, really well done. Now, patience, Mrs. Weedman. That was a big, big rip. Can I have one more?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So take a look at our little front table here. You'll see some of their products on our table and Galaxy Labs. I really appreciate the flower, man.
That's fun.
I really do. Let's try again. I'm excited. This is fun.
Yeah, they have all sorts. So I think the premise is because they're saying that there's no more swapping spit, get high faster with bigger rips, no more sticky fingers, a better experience, pack large flower bowls that last longer. I think the idea is that maybe potentially you could have your own banger, like you pass the bubbler, well, or you pass the banger around and everybody has their own.
That's true too.
Bong.
Or whatever.
So then you could share it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
But
could do that
also-
with a bowl.
Yeah,
too,
but also with a bong, you can always just wipe it off.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
especially.
Okay,
You know.
that's pretty old school, Mr. Weedman. Apparently, you didn't live through COVID.
I did live. I'm here. I survived.
Wiping it off.
I survived.
Wiping it off.
No alcohol.
It works.
You like that?
That's the old like lick your finger and wipe the schmudge off a kid's face.
Yes,
theory.
yes. That's what my dad used to do. When you had a little booger on your face or dirt, they would take their thumb and just wipe it off, and you'd be like, "That is." Back then, you didn't know any better, but now thinking about that, I'm like, "Oh my god, that is so
Yeah.
gross." I mean, my dad would like sometimes like rub.
You thought
his
you thought
finger.
your aunt's wet kiss was bad. You're walking around with your dad's boobies all over your face.
Oh man! So I'd like to thank Jarrett and
Fun.
Michelle from Galaxy Labs and Galaxy Dispensary in Richton Park for sponsoring our 420 episode by throwing us some flour. And I'd like to thank Jameson from Little Skunky for throwing us some bangers.
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
I can't wait to try them all and have fun when people come over and let them see the new toy. I love new toys. New toys are fun. And thank you, Jameson, for all the good toys you sent our way. So, all right. This is a special day. This is our 420 episode. This is also our 6 years of doing this show.
Me and you.
6 years total.
You.
Yes, me. But
Me
6
5.
5.5 You've done 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the 6-year anniversary of the Weedman 420 Chronicles when we started doing the podcast. We started Weedman 420 Chronicles in 2018 as a Instagram. We'd go around the city in my Weedman costume, take pictures. But then in 2019, 420 of 2019, we launched our first podcast. And I'm not going to go through the story. You've heard it all so many times, but this show is for you. For all of our listeners out there that have been listening to us. Some have been listening to us from day one. From like the first episode, I still get emails from people or DMs from people saying, we've been listening to you from day one. Yeah, and then for the newbies that have been listening, that just started listening, we love you too. And for all the people that have been listening in between, we love you too. We want to thank you from the bottom of my heart with all humbleness and humility here. I want to thank you all for keeping me and keeping Mrs. Weedman alive, meaning like doing this show every week, putting this show together every week. And it's 6 years running. For the last 4 years, would you say? 5? I would say like 4.5 years. We've done a show every week.
Yep.
Every week for 4.5 years. We have not missed a week.
1 week.
Yeah, we take a vacation.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. And I do this, and Mrs. Weedman does this for love of the plant, for educational purposes, to learn, to keep us learning about this plant because we love it so much, and also to help and hopefully educate you all out there and give you some entertainment. We hope in the 6 years of all of you listening to this show that we've at least given you something to smile about and laugh about. Because to me, the show, if there's not comedy in it and there's not fun and lightheartedness, I don't know if I would be able to do this show if it was a serious show. And it is serious, but I like to make sure, what have I always said, if there's not laughs in this show, if I can't laugh at the stuff we're talking about, I don't want to do the show. Because there has to be comedy. There has to be fun. There has to be lightheartedness, because it's, in the end, it's the greatest plant ever, and it's just weed.
We're just talking about a plant.
Yeah. And so...
That sounds so like... That just simplifies it too much. It is not just a plant.
It's just a
right?
plant.
It is, but it's not.
Just a plant.
Right? We all know.
It's a wonderful plant.
It's so much more.
That has angels in those leaves that you've heard me say for 6 years. And but Mrs. Weedman, I'm going to let you take the mic for a second and just say something.
You know, we do keep doing this because you keep listening. So there's a reason that we continue. And this is Mr. Weedman's baby. And I joined in and stuck around. It's kind of, you know.
You're not leaving.
It's just the way things roll around here. we just keep trucking. And we're doers. And we like to have a good agenda to do. And so it just seemed natural to get into this space and talk about it more because we've believed in it for a long time. And so we know a lot of our listeners feel the same. And, you know, you might be new to cannabis. You might be, you know, a reuser. You know, you used as a kid and then you stopped during most of your adulthood and now you've picked it back up. You know, it whatever. We all have our own story, right? And whatever it is, if today is your first day using cannabis or it is your 5,000th time in the month of using cannabis, there's room for you here. And we hope you join and we hope you stick around. And really, we love to hear from you. So always, you know, throw a little comment, throw a little DM. Let us know that you're out there. Let us know where you're from. Just fun, like, let's get to know each other. Yep. It's, you know, we want to know what you guys want to hear.
And we've met so many people
out in the wild that are like, oh, I listened to your show. Yeah. Like, oh, because they haven't ever viewed the show. They've not watched it on YouTube. So it's like, oh, you guys, oh, yeah.
You guys are
no
Mr. Weedman.
And so it's fun. And there's people that don't know about us, and then they're super excited to hear about us. And we're just going to keep doing this. You know, 8 decades birthed out of this podcast, because Weedman is all about advocating for a plant that he loves and that all weed men love, weed women too. And so the more we can talk about it and the more that we can kind of break through these barriers of stigma and old misinformation and bring new information and bring facts and data whenever they occur, and silliness and camaraderie, like whatever we can bring to the table that can help you get your mind around cannabis and learn about it. That's what we're here for. And then 8 Decades is just kind of to further that mission. It's let's stomp the stigma. That's Weedman. We're stomping the stigma, right? And we want to free the plant.
Yeah.
And then we have products that start the conversation. So the idea too is by stomping the stigma, why are we stashing? If you live someplace where it's legal, why are we stashing? People have bars in their homes. People have all sorts of crazy things, guns. And I mean, not saying that these things are crazy, but the fact that those are all out and that's all okay.
Yeah.
Weapons and
liquor,
erotic art and, liquor and reference to this and reference to that. And it's all okay because it's normalized. It's what we do, it's just normal. But weed isn't yet.
We're still still put in the corner.
Yeah, but if it's legal and you enjoy it and it's your home, freaking put a weed poster on your wall. Why not?
There's
right?
Some really good
There's
weed
tasteful, really good cannabis reference art. And there's a lot of things. And that's where 8 Decades came into play. We wanted to have a brand that was something that started a conversation. Don't stash it, put it out, start talking about it. Someone might not even know what a rolling tray is. And now you are educating them about cannabis.
Yeah.
And it's just a simple, light conversation.
Mrs Weedman loves starting conversation. Coming into the conversation. Loves it when it comes to talking about weed.
Yeah. So it's just fun. The intention of that brand is to get the conversation flowing.
Yeah.
To have really nice items because you should have, if cannabis is special to you, you should have nice things to use it with, right? And nice things to store it in and appropriate things. Grown-up goods.
Yeah.
So that's where that all came from. Blah, blah, blah. So that was a long-winded commercial. But also today we got into
we have
Block Dispensary.
A new partner today.
Yeah,
yes.
So we've got new retail partners.
Yeah.
So if you're in the city of Chicago, check out Block Dispensary. They're actually doing a 420, 30% off all accessories in the dispensary for the whole weekend. So you can get some 8 Decades goods.
And that's Block Avondale, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then we're also in another one of their stores.
In Metropolis, Illinois.
Where Superman lives.
Yep. So Superman can fly away with a rolling tray. So just lots of fun things. We're moving and shaking, and we want you guys to come along for the ride.
Yeah. So we like to thank our new partners, Block Dispensary.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for giving us a shot to earn our place in your store. We appreciate you.
Oh, one last thing.
Go ahead.
Are we doing ads right now? Did this turn into like a big ad? Not really.
No. It's our 420 show. It's not our regular show.
Yeah. So 420 this weekend. Are we talking about all of our 420 stuff later? Or do you want to talk about where we're going to be?
We already talked about it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, and this show's going to be after that party. That show's going to be after the party.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe we'll see you on 419, and then you could hear this on...
It's 420.
Right. It is 420.
Mrs. Weedman stoned.
I'm really stoned.
Yes.
What was the amount of...
21%. But I told you it hit you harder.
It was going to be,
and you took a big rip.
Oh, because... Yeah.
Yes. You took a big rip.
Yeah, just bear with me, people.
Big rip. So Block Dispensary, we appreciate you for bringing us in. Also, once again, thank you for listening around the world. We are now, as of this week, 160 countries around the world. 7,700 cities. There's somebody that has listened to us or is listening to us. So happy 420 out there, everybody. Yeah. Happy 420. Enjoy your day. This is the Stoner Burner Pothead Day.
Yes.
It's our day.
So you don't have to wait till it's 4:20 p.m. It's just 4:20 all day.
Yes, all day. And at 4:20 p.m. on 4:20, you better have the biggest, fattest doink in your hand. Lighten up or bong rip or dab rip or whatever you like to do, edible, tincture, whatever. 4:20. I know it's Easter, but 4:20 at 4:20. Have a rip in your hand.
It's only appropriate.
Yes,
right?
Only appropriate.
I'll go with the nieces and nephews on a after Easter walk.
Go find some Easter eggs.
Walk.
Go find some Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah, Easter egg hunt. Oh, we should have done that.
So we appreciate y'all out there for 6 years. And just keep on listening. And what I need you to all do out there, share this show with people on YouTube. Check out our YouTube now. We have a great YouTube channel where you can see Mr. and Mrs. Weedman. And but go on our YouTube channel and invite people to come to our show and listen and join in. And I appreciate all the messages too and all the emails. And thank you for 6 years, everybody, and keeping us motivated, keeping us going, keeping us committed, organized, responsible, and educated on this show, because I keep it core, you know. And you know, I appreciate y'all. We love you. And one other person I need to thank, and that's Shawty, our producer. Thanks for 6 years, Shawty. You're the only one that stuck with me the longest. She's been with me. Actually, she helped with the Weedman 420 Chronicles Instagram.
Way back, yeah.
Her and Paulie.
Yeah, they started with all the photography.
Yep. Yeah. So she's been with me 7 years if you
it's
count
been
the
a minute.
Chronicles. So, Shawty.
Yeah.
I got a daughter-in-law too. So, new daughter-in-law. So, we love you, Shawty. Thank you so much.
At least I didn't do this. That's not in reference to Shawty. That was, I was saying goodbye to somebody and it was really baked. And I think I wanted to do peace, but then I thought I was going to wave. And I put up my middle finger and then my index finger like a peace sign. But it was very awkward. It kind of looked like I flipped the person off. So no hand gestures.
None? None?
I'm not coordinated enough when I'm consuming.
Something funny. I was I tried to take Yuki to the vet. And I was telling you about this, and I had to take Yuki to the vet. And so I was explaining to the vet tech something that I do with Yuki. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was the hand gesture I did that I was telling you about when we were going to bed last night. Mm-hmm. I was like, I was talking to the vet tech. She was saying how nice Yuki is and how well trained she is. And she was asking me questions about like how I take care of Yuki. And I said, I there's a thing I do, and I sometimes have to go like this. And I'm literally, my finger is like, looks like I'm.
You said
I basically look like I was fingering this, like my dog. And
you were talking about like dental, like
I was cleaning her teeth.
Clean it with those brushes, the finger brushes.
Yes, and she hates it. I was telling her she likes floss, and she's like, "Your dog likes floss." I'm like, "She loves floss. She loves being like the floss in her teeth. She plays with it. And I pull it out and clean her teeth with floss." But I'm like, she hates the finger cleaners, and I'm basically just jamming my finger. Look like I'm like doing something sexual, basically, and it looked really dirty. And meanwhile, when I got done doing the finger gesture, that looked very dirty.
Yeah.
When I walked out, I said, "Did I actually really just do that?"
Oh my god!
Did I just do the finger gesture like this with the shakalaka?
Yeah.
And then I told you we were going to bed.
Yeah, you about
last
fell
night.
over.
Was it last night? I said, we were talking about her vet visit.
Like, I've been thinking about it ever since I left the doctor. Yeah. I think I did something inappropriate. He's like, I was just telling the story, and I was talking about how I like brush Yuki's teeth, and I was doing this motion with my hand. I was like, oh my god, you were. He's like, yeah, I was telling her how I like go back and forth, you know. Like, oh boy.
Oh my gosh, I was really crying in the laugh. I had to laugh about it.
Maybe she left the room and just busted up.
Maybe
she might,
or
have.
She's like that dirty
what
pervert.
A dirty weirdo. That is a weirdo. He was giving me the creeps. Did she leave suddenly after that?
She had to go get Dr. Battle.
Oh, see?
Yeah. She had to go get
she had to get back up.
Yeah, she had to go get the doctor now to come in and give her shots in her final checkup. But meanwhile, I'm just thinking to myself, I was doing the old finger motion. What you do in this world to make you laugh, right? Mm. Or embarrass yourself.
If you can't laugh at yourself.
I can make myself laugh. If I can't make myself laugh, I can't make anybody else laugh.
Do you laugh at yourself?
All the time.
Yeah.
When I do stupid shit, all the time. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like just all of a sudden you did something stupid.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but what the fuck and laughing at yourself are two different things. What the fuck is like...
Well, there's like a what the fuck and then there's a laughing. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Did I really just do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's times where a memory will pop up in my head from like maybe when I was a kid and I just started laughing at myself. I'm like, did I actually fucking do that? Am I an idiot? Oh man, just being a little silly because we're very stoned. I'm fucking high.
Yeah.
That thing works
That
really
thing,
well.
yeah.
Little Skunky, Apricot Chem by Galaxy Labs.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm baked.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got a little fumbling in my words over there. I forgot stories for a second.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Struggling.
I'm back.
You're back?
Here I am. We'll see. We'll see how far this goes. But this is a different show. It's our 420 episode. It's not our normal what we do on Tuesday nights and we launch on Thursdays. This is just our 420 episode. Something totally different. Something fun. Give you a little laugh while you're getting high at us, But we're gonna take you on a little journey, right?
Yep.
A journey through the history of cannabis. Short, sweet, to the point. You've probably heard 99.9% of this if you listen to this show for the last 6 years. But I did a little summary of just some of the journey that I've read and learned about. Hopefully you've read and learned about in your time in cannabis. Maybe heard it on the show, or maybe heard it on a different show, maybe heard it on the news, or maybe read it in a history book. Who knows? But I just want to just condense what we've talked about so it's just there as our 6-year anniversary show. So everyone will always know a small, tiny little hint of what this plant has gone through and still going through as of 4/20/2025.
Okay. I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
A journey through the history of cannabis. In this episode is a journey. A full circle look at one of the world's oldest plants. From its ancient uses and sacred status to the Prohibition era, and finally, its slow but powerful comeback into mainstream society. Mrs. Weedman and I are going to talk about how long humans have used cannabis, why it was made illegal, and what the future could hold. And maybe most importantly, why cannabis should be free for all to use and enjoy. So sit back, spark something if you're so inclined. Let's dive into the rich, often misunderstood history of cannabis. Ancient roots. Cannabis has been around longer than human civilization as we know it. The earliest recorded use of cannabis dates back to around 5000 BC in ancient China, where it was used as a source of fiber for making rope and textiles. The Shen Nong Ben Chao Jing, a Chinese medical text from around 2700 BC, listed cannabis as a treatment for over 100 ailments, including gout, I can't pronounce that word, I'm too stoned. Rheumatism, thank you. And absent-mindedness.
How about that?
Like right now.
Mm-hmm.
In India, cannabis was referred to as bhang and was mentioned in the sacred Hindu text. It was believed to be one of the 5 sacred plants gifted by the gods or God.
Mm-hmm.
The ancient Scythians, a nomadic Indo-European group, reportedly used cannabis in steam baths, inhaling the smoke for ritual and recreational purposes. My kind of peeps.
Mm-hmm.
The Greeks and the Romans used it medicinally as well, especially for pain relief and treating earaches. Cannabis wasn't taboo. It was practical. It was spiritual, medicinal, and it was global.
Ooh.
Global. I mean, just in its ancient roots,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much that we still don't know about this plant from history's sake, that we're still learning and finding out about. But just in that history from 5,000 years ago, when it was first discovered, it's been around longer than that, but when it was first being used, just in that first 5,000 BC to like say 1 AD, how much it was used recreationally, ritually and spiritually, medicinally, is the big one,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was, there was no stigma to it.
Mm-hmm.
So who is smarter? The ancient OGs of this plant or the people of today? I would say
I think they were using it in
The
a
way
much
it's-
smarter way.
and the way it was supposed to be and
Yeah.
intended to be used.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say.
So Mrs. Weedman's going to go next.
Yeah. So I'm going to cover here from remedy to reefer madness. So, how did we go from healing herb to dangerous drug? Well, fast forward to the 19th century, cannabis has made its way into Western medicine. It was everything. It was in everything. Tinctures, cough syrup, sleep aids. But things started to change in the early 20th century, especially in the United States. The big things that were really making an impact, number one, was the Mexican Revolution in the 1910s, and it brought an influx of immigrants, many of whom used marijuana recreationally. That, coupled with racial prejudice, led to growing suspicions around the plant. And in 1937, this is 8 decades ago, the Marijuana Tax Act effectively criminalized cannabis in the United States, pushed by figures like Harry Anslinger, who used fear-mongering, racism, and propaganda to demonize the plant. Harry Anslinger is the creator of the war on drugs. Okay.
The first part
Yes.
of war on drugs.
Mhm. And a lot of racism.
Let's just say the war on marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even the war on drugs, the war on marijuana.
So maybe some of you remember Reefer Madness. That came out in 1936. So you may remember like posters that were still around when you were a young kid or something. And it was a part of a massive smear campaign. Yes, in our studio, we've got the Reefer Madness, Public Enemy #1, Adults Only, and another poster that says marijuana with the H, spelled with the H.
Weird orgies.
And wild
parties.
parties. You know, it was just so wild how all of a
Unleashed
sudden,
passion.
yeah, it went from.
It sounds fun to me.
Can I have some of that?
That sounds really good.
Yeah,
Do you
great.
notice how like they put a needle there though?
I know, like who's
shooting up cannabis?
Well, you know, it was the gateway drug, right?
Right.
Well, that thanks to our government for all of that bullshit. And so it was a big, massive smear campaign that still affects us today. But the narrative had flipped. A plant was once used for healing and ceremony and ritual and all of these great healing and all of these great things was now painted as a threat to society. Bullshit.
A threat.
A threat. Enter the
War on drugs.
Yep.
And then came the war. Not on crime, mind you. Not on addiction. Right?
Mhm.
Say it again. Ready? Listen, everybody. Ready? This war is not on crime. It's not on addiction, but on people. In 1970, cannabis was classified as a Schedule I drug under the Controlled Substance Act, meaning it had not accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. The same year, President Nixon launched the war on drugs. But former Nixon aides later admitted the truth. It wasn't about drugs. It was about disrupting black communities and anti-war activists.
Yep.
The hippies.
It was a distractor. They found something else to manipulate people.
The 80s and 90s only ramped it up. Harsh sentencing laws. Just say no. And billions spent on incarcerating non-violent cannabis users. I'm a Generation Xer. The toughest generation. We are.
Yeah, I don't know where any of us are. We're all in hiding. We're
We are the tough.
traumatized.
We drank out of hoses.
Nobody raised us.
Nobody raised
We're all
us.
just
We would tell our
little
parents we were
hellraisers.
out and we had to be home for dinner, and then we got to go back out. We had to come
Come back by 10 o'clock.
by 10 o'clock. And we would be like saying we would be riding around the block. Next thing I was like 10, 20 miles away from the house.
We had bicycles,
Yeah.
man. We could get all
They
over
didn't
the
know
place.
where we were.
No.
We were all over the place. We played in the swamps. We built forest. We built we call them dens, and we'd have hangouts there. And first time I smoked a cigarette was in my den, and that we built and dug out with all these things that you found in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Gen Xers were latchkey kids. Both parents worked. We weren't raised by anybody. Our grandparents, if we lived with
Figure
our
it out. It was
grandparents,
just, like nobody checked in on you
No.
for anything.
I get home from school, had to do my homework, call my mom, tell her we were home, and then as soon as my homework was done, which was all bullshit anyway, because I just put fake numbers in, I would just be I wanted to be on my bike,
Out.
gone.
Yep.
And if I didn't have baseball practice or football practice or any kind of sports, I didn't get home until dinner, and then I was back out. Especially in the summertime when there was no school, you were out of that house at 10 in the morning. And you didn't get home until 5, and you were back out until your curfew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Gen X, we drank from hoses.
Oh yeah.
You know, hot
plastic
water.
hoses.
Yeah, just they were baking. You know,
Yeah.
We would
Remember that
we would
taste?
ride on. I would ride on subways by myself as a kid. You know, at 10
Climb
years
light
old.
street poles.
Yeah, the shit that we did. Oh my god, fist fight. You figure shit out by a fist fight, and then you shook
didn't
hands,
fight.
and you were still friends the next day. You got on the ball field. You got into a fight. You fought. You know, we were tough motherfuckers. We've gone through. It was the end of the Vietnam War, but there was still a lot of shit going on. You know, when we were born. You know, we had the everything you're seeing today and what you saw, we triple that. We've been through recessions so many times. Interest rates were through the roof when we were younger. You know, the Gen Xers here have gone through all this bullshit. The Just Say No era, the DARE program,
That was us.
garbage. They filled us with, like I said, not teaching us about crime and not teaching us about addiction, but teaching us about bad people and why people should go to jail for what this was. That's what we had to deal with, right? How many fucking narcs that we had in our school trying to bust us, like at parties that we were all smoking weed at. Oh my god, it was fucking brutal. Anyway, entire generations, especially communities of color, were devastated by cannabis-related arrest. The irony: cannabis never changed. You ready for this? Cannabis never changed. The politics did.
Yep.
Ms. Weedman.
Then there was legalization and a modern rebirth. But the people pushed back, and change started happening. Slowly, but then kind of all at once. In 1996 was the beginnings of this push. California became the first U.S. state to legalize medical marijuana. Then came the wave. Colorado, Oregon, Washington, leading to full recreational legalization in the 2010s. And as of 2025, there are 40 plus United States that have some form of legal cannabis, and countries like Canada, Uruguay, Thailand, and parts of Europe have fully legalized or decriminalized it. The industry is growing, but let's not forget there are still thousands of people still in prison for something that we are now enjoying legally in dispensaries. And there's sleek branding all about it.
Why cannabis should be free. Meaning freedom. It should be free too, but if you grow your own. But free. This plant needs to be free. Let's get real. Cannabis shouldn't be just be legal. It should be accessible, equitable, and free from all stigmas. What's it called? Stomp
The stigma.
Stigma. Cannabis is medicine for anxiety, pain, PTSD, epilepsy. Findings on more about today. I read more about findings about cancer. It does cure cancer or treat cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'll talk about that on our next episode. But add that into as medicine. The science backs it. It's also a source of joy, creativity, relaxation, and even our precious community. Keeping it illegal or tightly restricted only fuels the prison industrial complex, farmer lobbying, and corporate monopolies. Legalization must come with expungement, reparations, and support for small, community-based growers and sellers. A plant that grows naturally from earth should not be criminalized. Exclamation point, period, period. A plant that grows naturally from the earth should not be criminalized. Mm-hmm. Do you understand me out there? Do you hear me, everybody? Mrs. Weedman.
Yeah. Well, we've come a long way, from ancient temples to criminal courts to chic dispensaries. But the journey is not over. Cannabis is more than a plant. We know that. It's a symbol of resistance, resilience, and rebirth. So whether you use it to heal, to chill, or just because you can, remember the roots and keep fighting for a future where no one is punished for a plant.
What's our mission statement?
We have a mission statement here with Weedman 420 Chronicles, and our agenda is to stomp the stigma, free the plant, educate the people, and help free the 40,000 prisoners who are locked up for nonviolent cannabis crimes. And we try to do all this through our podcast and through our 8 Decades brand. You can go to our website where you can donate to Last Prisoners Project. They are very actively fighting for and advocating and exonerating, and they are just a huge, huge presence in the space of nonviolent cannabis crimes and helping those prisoners get out of jail. And once they're out of jail, re-entry into society. So they're a really phenomenal organization, and you can donate to them directly on our website.
8decades.com. Spelled out 8
Yes.
decades.com. Before we go on to why we celebrate 420 and who actually created 420, for 6 years now I've read the story of the Waldos. And if you've never heard the story before, listen to this show. Every year we read the story about them. How I learned about the Waldos was I worked for a brewery, Lagunitas Brewing Company, for a very long time. One of my favorite jobs ever. And I learned about the Waldos. I knew about 420. I just never knew who created 420. And I learned about the Waldos from Lagunitas Brewing Company, who were friends with these guys, and they created a beer called the Waldos, or the Waldos, and is a very, very fucking gassy fucking IPA. Let's call it a triple IPA to be exact. It's like gasoline. It's good, but it's like gasoline. It's like 14% alcohol, hoppier than it's like sludge hops. I mean, how much hops they put in that beer? Just like the dankiest weed you've ever smoked. Think of the dankiest beer you've ever drank. And when I learned about the Waldos and this brewery actually let me honor 420 every year by doing something that I called Skunk Bus. And every year from 2013 to 2019, because darn it, COVID on 420 of 2020, I couldn't do Skunk Bus. And what Skunk Bus started off with 25 people that made it, and no one knew what it was. I said, hey, I invited a bunch of people, and 25 people showed up to it was a 5-bar crawl. And for 420 that we would go to these bars and go to the places that had Waldo on tap. But the bus was called Skunk Bus for a reason. And this is 2013 now, okay? Mind you all. Weed wasn't even medical yet in Illinois. We made edibles. You didn't come on the bus,
nope.
But Ms. Weedman made about 100 edibles, and I probably had about an ounce of weed on me. And nobody from Lagunitas came. It was just me. And then people who I met at the bars, and bartenders or servers or whatever, and then just customers. And then as we went from bar to bar, we smoked. I mean, we were smoking joints. Were being passed around. Edibles were being passed around. We had beer on the bus. We had water. We had snacks and all that kind of stuff. And we would go to a bar and we'd be reeking like weed and stoned out of our minds, drunk, and have, because of the Waldos. Whew, my gosh. And people would end up this first year. Oh, can we come on the bus? Where are you going next? They're like, oh, can we come? Yeah, come on. We wound up picking about another 25 people that night. The rest is history. Because every year after doing that, the bus got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we had to do 2 420 events, one for downtown and one for the suburbs. And it was just insane how many people would show up. One year we had 120 people. We had to rent 2 buses for the downtown bus crawl. But it was always about weed.
And this was just like a very specific word of mouth. Invite. It was, yeah.
I would have people call me going, "Hey, can my cousin come?"
And be like, "Do they smoke weed?"
And they
no, not really. Okay, no.
Because there was rules on the bus though.
Yeah.
The first rule was tip the bus driver because he's watching our shit and making sure we get from place to base. That was number 1. Always tip the bus driver. 2 was we never leave anybody behind. 3 was we always watch each other's backs. We don't babysit, but we watch each other's backs to make sure because we're stoned and we're going into a bar that people aren't on our level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and they don't know. The owners knew and the bartenders knew. They knew what we're all about because people wanted us to come to the bars. But I always said, just people don't know where we're at and where our head's at versus where their heads are at. So just watch each other's back. And the last rule was if this was your first time on the bus, you have to smoke. Sorry. And I had a police officer on the bus one year, a very good friend of mine. And he would not take a hit. This was the first year. He would not take a hit, and we were blowing clouds. And he was a former college smoker. He smoked weed in college, and he missed it. He misses it. He's going to retire soon. And I told this person, I said, when you are retired and you can smoke, we're smoking. I want to be your first again. But we were blowing clouds in his face. It was so funny. But it was such a good time in my life. We threw a 1 year we went and did the last stop was an apartment party and 300 people showed up for that one. That was a banger. And the funny part about it is Mrs. Weedman only went on the bus the last year because every year she didn't go on the bus because if I would have gotten thrown in the clink, if the bus would have got stopped, I always told everybody,
both gone.
I always held the weed and I always told people if we get stopped and cops come on, I'll go to jail for you all. And let the bus take you back to your cars.
Yeah, you'd probably have 5 pounds on you.
Whatever.
If everybody throws it all your way.
It didn't matter.
There were joints.
It didn't matter. I was going to take the fall.
Right.
And you always said, well, I'm not going on this bus because if you get arrested, I have to bail you out. I'm like, okay, fine. But I missed you. But it was legendary. We had shirts and hoodies made one year. And oh my God, it was just there was so many people involved. But the first 3 years, it was just me. And I finally got some help because it got so big. And then but it was just legendary, like how much fun we had and just the memories and the pictures and just the last year when I had the last 2 years when I did the bandolera with what 30 joints in there and I was handing them out to people. And this, oh my gosh, just crazy, crazy times those years. And I thank Lagunitas for that brewing company when I worked for them. And the reason why I thank them because the owner, Tony McGee and Ron Lindenbush, his right-hand man, were very weed forward. I mean, their whole brewery was built on weed. They were more of a weed company. They just made beer so they can smoke weed. And these 2 gentlemen were fucking weed. I mean, they'd outsmoke 90% of us. I mean, these guys were fucking hippies and smokers, and they started one of the greatest breweries ever of all time. And when I started working for them in 2013, I had took some couple of years off of smoking, and I was just starting to get back into smoking again, and they made it natural. They made it so good, and not to be scared.
Like just the environment,
yes,
like safe, open consumption,
yes,
like parties,
right?
It was consumption all the time. It was awesome.
Yeah, everybody always had weed on them. People coming from, I mean, we were a California brewery, and they brought that California stoner hippie vibe to Illinois with the brewery they built here, and I was all about it, and I loved it every second of it. It was such a good time. It was
such a fun time.
It was probably
and
work-wise, probably the best job ever.
Like,
right.
It was your job, but the amount of social engagements and just it was phenomenal.
understand weed more.
Yeah,
it helped you not be afraid.
It made weed a really comfortable space because I was just so surprised that all of these kind of executives and, high level sales and all these high level skilled business people were huge consumers.
Yep.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, it was an amazing, and I met wonderful people working for Lagunitas that worked for Lagunitas.
So many people from all
over the world.
Yeah,
I traveled all over. I traveled probably to 20 states with Lagunitas and overseas. I went to the UK, smoked weed over there, and the experiences because of Lagunitas Brewing Company and because they made cannabis, they there was no stigma with weed in that company, and they were so cannabis friendly. It gave me my start to what I did when I was younger, but it gave me my restart, let's just say, on now realizing that why the fuck should I be afraid of a plant? The government's lied to us, and I always knew, but they've been lying to us. And why can't I smoke a joint like someone smokes a cigarette outside of a bar, which we've done thousands of times, And why am I scared to carry weed? Why am I scared to talk about it? Why? And it just stopped right there. It was a click in my head that said, yeah, I get to sell the greatest beer in the world, but I'm also really selling weed, the story of weed.
Yeah.
And we started making edibles. I mean, your edibles are famous. We would show up with 500 edibles to a party at Lagunitas party, our Christmas parties every year. We would go to both California and Chicago, and we would bring monster bags of edibles, and everybody would eat them because they all wanted the cushy roll. They all wanted, we would come hard, and people it was just so much fun, and I learned about the Waldos.
Yep.
Because of Lagunitas. So before I read you the story of the Waldos, and Mrs. Weedman and I are going to do a 420 toke in honor of the Waldos, because this is what 420 is all about.
And this, at one point, so a lot of Lagunitas merchandising included 420 in it. There was tons of cannabis reference. If you look at ads and logos and T-shirts and things, there is a lot. License plates with 420, with skeletons smoking joints on the car. And what was I going to say about that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You were talking about merch, and you were talking about Lagunitas and the 420, and I guess
that's it.
That's it. Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I lost my train of thought.
Token spark up with our new toy, Little Skunky, and also we are smoking once again Apricot Chem, given to us by Galaxy Labs. Thank you for the goodies. Thank you for the fun. But while Mrs. Weedman is lighting this up, it takes a minute because you light the cherry, then you put it in the banger, and then you roll. If you are celebrating 420 today and having fun with your family and friends and or partying at events, just always remember respect people and have fun. You see somebody greening out, know what to do. Here's some things you need to know what to do when someone's greening out. Okay. Cold water, cold compress, get a cloth, ice cold water. If you can get ice, great. Put it on the back of their neck. If they're somewhat conscious and they can drink, lemon water would be absolutely excellent for them. And
some sugar.
Yeah, some sugar if they can eat. But if they can't, just squeeze a bunch of lemons, lemonade, just even lemonade, straight up lemonade. And then get them outside to fresh air. Don't let them sit inside, and don't hover and crowd. Let that person help them out.
Give them kind of like a quiet space. Let them lay down. They can like rest for a little bit. It's like they just got to ride out that like intensity. For some people it can last half hour if they really overconsumed for what their body's used to, or if they're new to consuming and they took like a giant rip. They need to lay down. Yeah, they're gonna want to lay down. And just let them be.
Make sure people aren't panicking, freaking out. It happens. It's like someone getting too drunk on liquor. This is a little different, though. Okay,
they just need calm.
There's a way to snap people out of it. Black pepper seeds, if they can chew, get them some black pepper seeds. They might not like it, but I'm telling you right now, there's ways to get that person. CBD.
If you have a CBD tincture, especially, get that in their mouth. Have them swish it around, swallow it.
Yeah, ice cold compress though on the back of that neck will wake that person up.
Yeah,
and get them to fresh air and get them walking. If they can't walk, then don't. But if they are able to get up, get them moving. Get that blood flow. Get them lemon water or lemonade, something with sugar in it. Light them up, okay? So just remember, protect your community out there, wherever you're partying at, wherever you're having fun at, whatever event you're at. Remember the basic rules of when you see someone green out, and take care of your fellow stoner, burner, and pothead. They love you. So, the story of the Waldos.
And I remember what it was about merchandising with Lagunitas. The story of the Waldos. This is written by somebody from Lagunitas, and it was a comic book.
I don't have the comic book. I'm not reading the comic book right now.
It's not that version?
No, this is their website.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, they have a fantastic one.
Yeah. It's actually on the shelf if you want to grab it.
I will.
Yeah, grab the comic book and you can at least show everybody about it. It's yes. So we read this comic book last year's episode. So in honor of the Waldos, I wanted to read from their website this year. I did 2 years ago, two 420 episodes ago. I did their website because I just wanted people to know you can go to their website, which is 420waldos.com. And here's the story of the Waldos and where 420 came from. The time is 1971. The Waldos are sitting on the wall one day at the San Rafael High School, making fun of everybody passing by as usual. A friend of the Waldos, Bill, came over to share something. He unfolded a treasure map explaining that his brother was in the U.S. Coast Guard stationed at the Point Reyes Peninsula, north of San Francisco. He and some of the U.S. Coast Guardsmen were growing a patch of weed and was ready for harvest. However, they were fearful that their commanding officer was onto them. Wanting to be safe and not wanting to get busted, they decided to abandon the project and gave Bill and his chosen friends permission to go harvest. Bill and fate picked the Waldos. A plan was made to search for the plants. School let out on a staggered flex schedule, typically at 3:10. Some of the Waldos had football practice for approximately 1 hour afterwards. So the plan was to meet at the campus at the statue of the chemist Louis Pasteur, also who pasteurized milk, the founder of pasteurization of milk, Louis Pasteur. At what time, Mrs. Weedman?
4:20 p.m.
4:20 p.m.
4:20
p.m.
p.m.
During the day, every time they would see each other in the halls, they would remind each other of the meeting time and the place by saluting with 420 Louis. 420 Louis. They would meet at the statue and partake. Then they would pile up into their 1996 Chevy Impala mobile with their very important music blasting, drive and smoke out to the Point Reyes Peninsula, where unusual things would happen. Music included Commander Cody and the Lost Planet of Airmen, Elvin Bishop Band, The Grateful Dead, New Riders of Purple Sage, Lee Michaels, Tower of Powers, Bog Skaggs, Van Morrison, Jefferson Airplane, Santana, Doobie Brothers, Quicksilver, The Sons of Chaplin, Dan Hicks and Hot Licks, Jesse Collins Young, Traffic, Allman Brothers Band, Stephen Stills, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Paco Marshall, Tucker Band, The Outlaws, Loggins and Mazzina, Rick Nelson, Led Zeppelin, Clarence Clearwater, The Who, Chicago, Beatles, Merle Haggard, Buck Owens, Waylon Jennings, Asleep at the Wheel, Bob Wills, and the Texas Playboys. That was their playlist. And they didn't have Spotify back then, ladies and gentlemen. The search went on for weeks. Lewis was dropped, and the greetings were shortened to just 420. Which instantly became Waldo's secret code for getting high. Teachers, coaches, administrators, parents, and everyone else were oblivious. The Waldos could communicate anything about weed amongst themselves with just the tiniest infliction. The Waldos never found the weed patch, but the Waldos and other Waldo safaris had always continued on. And that is the story of where 420 came from. All you burners, stoners, and potheads.
That's great.
That was when I worked for Lagunitas Brewing Company. That was one of the memorabilia items you got one of the years, and we gave out thousands of those. And if you still have one today, I have 3. I have this one that I read from every year, and 2 in my in a box hidden somewhere. So if I lose that one, I have 2 more.
You want me to read this page?
Sure, go ahead.
So this is the end of the comic book after the story ends. A very similar version to what Mr. Weedman read. and it's Tony McGee and Ron Lindenbush having a beer with Tony's dog in the office, and they're saying it in 2011, 40 years after that first 420 meeting, the folks at Lagunitas called up the Waldos to see if they could brew a beer together in honor of the origins of 420. The Waldos agreed, and they all traveled to Petaluma, California, to brew the first batch of the Waldos Special Ale, the dankest and hoppiest beer ever brewed by the Lagunitas Brewing Company. Hops are the closest living relative to cannabis. Somewhere around 2 million years ago, the plant split. One half evolved to become what we know as cannabis, while the other evolved to become what we know as hops. Despite their differences, they share many qualities, like the presence of terpenes or aroma compounds, and are grown, harvested, and enjoyed in very similar ways. Pretty cool.
Pretty dope.
Yeah. So while the secret garden was never found, Lagunitas and the Waldos still get together every year to make some treasure of their own, the Waldos Special Ale, brewed for treasure hunters everywhere. Cheers.
Salute, everybody. I am super baked.
Go treasure hunting.
I'm super baked.
Yeah, so am I. How about that show we're watching about treasure hunting?
Oh, you like that show, right?
Oh, yeah. There was this wealthy millionaire in New Mexico, and he hid a treasure somewhere between the value of $1 and $5 million with a self-written, that would be a biography or an autobiography, whatever that would be. Yeah, self-written, so whatever that is. And in it, he knew that nobody would really want to read his own story about his life. It really wasn't that exciting. So he put it was a poem that was 9 clues to find this treasure. And it turned into a wild treasure hunt for like a dozen years or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, treasure. Go look it up. It's pretty cool.
Go find your treasure of
It might still be out there.
The garden of pot field that someone planted a long time ago.
I'd rather find the pot.
Yeah, me too.
The magical valley.
Very, very stoned.
Yeah, so am I.
So anyway, don't forget, everybody, stick around because we have Mr. G going to come along and sing Vipers for you all. So I'd like to thank Mr. G. We love you. Sing some Vipers. To all my Vipers out there, we love you. Viper is the hiss you make when you smoke a joint. It's the snake hiss.
You got that
good. So all my Vipers out there in the world, we love you. Mrs. Weedman, you got anything else to say?
Well, happy 420, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the day, and hopefully you smoked with us because we smoked with you. We're baked. Hope you are too. Happy 420.
Everybody out there in the world, we love you. Thank you so much for 6 years, for just keeping on with us, helping us grow, keeping us going, helping us grow, keeping us going, keeping me fired up, keep me wanting to do the show every week for you all. You don't know how much this means to me. Just from the first person that I saw downloaded the show, don't know your name, but I love you. And it wasn't me that downloaded it myself. But for that first person that I saw on Buzzsprout, one download on that first time we launched, you are that person. You are the person that kept me fucking going. And when I saw I went to 100 downloads the second month, I said, uh-oh, I have a responsibility. To 100 people now. One I can get away with quitting.
Now you're fucked.
Yeah. When it got to 100, I was like,
now you're not going anywhere, Miss Weedman.
6 years later, that one person, though, I thank you. And everybody out there, I don't even know how many listen, but I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. As Paulie always says, for the 6th year in a row, as Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
This one's for all the Vipers out there. Song that launched the Weedman revolution.
Yeah!
I feel alone. A little too big, but not too strong. You'll be high, but not for long. If you're a viper, well, I'm the king of everything. I got to get high before I can swing. The sky's high and so am I. 'Cause I'm a viper. When the throat gets high, well, you know you're high. And everything is dandy. Truck on down to the candy store and you spend it all on some peppermint candy. Well, you know your little body's spent. Don't give a damn if you pay your rent. Light that tea and let it be. If you're a viper, I'm a viper minute. You're a viper, and I'm a viper. For all the vipers